The same thing went for everyone present at that party. They all denied ever seeing Amina that day. Dejected and confused, Amina and her parents went back home. Amina couldn't terminate the pregnancy, so she kept it. Her 9 months journey wasn't a pleasant one. Her parents most of the time reminded her of what a great disappointment she was, and her mother barely spoke to her all through her pregnancy journey. Amina's 9 months journey came to an end and she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Amina's love for her baby girl was immense. Same as Amina's mother, she loved Haramade so much. She forgave Amina and supported her by bathing Haramade and cuddling her while Amina rested. She encouraged Amina to pick herself up and forget the past, as children were blessings from God. So, day by day, week by week, Haramade grew into a beautiful girl. When she clocked a year old, Amina thought of what she could do. She didn't want to be a doctor anymore, as there was an extra mouth to feed, and she didn't want to burden her parents with the sole responsibility of taking care of her daughter. Medicine was a 7-year course with housemanship of a year or 2. Amina felt that was a really long time, so she decided to switch careers. She returned to school to study social work and female child advocacy. This new direction was driven by her experiences and the understanding that many girls, like her, were naive and had parents, especially mothers, who they couldn't talk to or share their burdens with. She was motivated by a desire to create positive change in the lives of those who needed it most. Juggling her studies with motherhood was challenging, but Amina's determination never wavered. She found that her personal experiences gave her a unique perspective and empathy that enriched her studies. She excelled in her coursework, driven by deep-seated commitment to her new path. After she was done with school, which was a 3-year course, Amina became a respected advocate for girls' rights. She began working with local organizations that focused on girls' education and empowerment with the help of her former lecturer at school. She began to raise awareness about the importance of feminine education for girls and the barriers they faced. She worked tirelessly to promote educational opportunities, provide mentorship, and challenge societal norms that impeded girls' progress. Amina worked her way to the top. She worked for 4 years before she was transferred to another town to set up a branch there and grow it. She gladly accepted the offer and agreed to visit her parents and daughter once a month, while sending them money for their upkeep from time to time. One day, 2 years later, Amina was in her town visiting her daughter and parents when a knock sounded at their door. Haramade answered the door and ran in to call her grandma. Amina's mother approached the door to see who the visitor was and called out to Amina because they were her visitors. Amina was surprised at who was looking for her, as she had only arrived the previous night. When she stepped out to the living room, she saw her friend, BC and Jide, one of the boys that attended the same school with them, who was also her friend, both of them accompanied by their parents. Amina didn't know whether to be angry, disgusted, or emotionless. She hadn't seen these two since she found out she was pregnant. BC has left the town immediately to another school, and Jide had also stopped talking to her, so seeing the two of them with their parents seated in her parents' living room was surprising to Amina. Jide greeted Amina, after which his mother requested for Amina's parents, as they needed to be there to hear what they have to say. Amina called out to her parents and they both sat waiting to hear what Jide and BC had to say. BC fell to her feet almost immediately. Amina's parents sat down and began apologizing to Amina for all she had done to her. She said she had seen how ambitious and focused Amina was and was jealous of her. She knew how strict Amina's parents were, and also how her parents did not allow her to talk to them about intimate topics, especially her mother. She knew Amina was a naive girl who knew nothing about boys and the female body, and because of this and also how jealous she was of Amina, she planned that Jide should sleep with Amina. But for that to happen, they had to sedate Amina and make her want it, so they drugged her drink on the day of her birthday party. BC went on to say she was happy when Amina got pregnant, and that was why she denied ever seeing her the day her parents came to her house to inquire about what happened and her pregnancy. Now, BC had been married and trying to conceive for years. She had been to different healers, and everywhere she went to, they told her that she needed the forgiveness of someone she had wronged. She needed no soothsayer to tell her, as she immediately knew it was Amina they were talking about. Jide, on the other hand, had also not done anything meaningful. He was not married, but his hands couldn't find success in his job or work. He knew what he did to Amina was wrong and had several times wanted to reach out to her, but he was afraid. He too had visited different places to know why his hands couldn't find success. There he was told that he had a child outside that he was not taking care of, and he needed to seek forgiveness from the child and her mother. Amina and everyone seated looked shocked at the word BC had spoken. Amina could not believe that her best friend, the same person that they shared their good and not so good days together, was the one that did this to her. When Amina found her voice, she said she would forgive both of them because she also needed to heal. She had found a fulfilling career path due to what happened, and her daughter, Taramade, was also growing in beauty and splendor. So she has no reason to keep any grudge against them. Jide promised to be in Haramade's life moving forward and take up her responsibility as a father. He and BC apologized profusely once again, and they all stood up to take their leave. After they had all gone, Amina's parents held Amina closely, especially her mother, and apologized for not giving her the space and attention she needed as a teenager. She admitted she could have done better as a mother, but she didn't know how to approach the sex or intimate discussions with Amina, as her own parents never gave her the access to discuss such with them. Now, this story teaches us that as a parent, especially a mother, you need to be close to your daughters. Gone are the days when sex discussion was perceived to be a taboo. Now the world has changed, and you need to embrace your girl child and educate her about puberty and all she needs to know about her body and sex. A parent should be a child's first confidant. So, over to you, as a teenager or young adult, did you have access to an elderly person, be it a parent or guardian, to discuss intimate topics with? Thank you for your attentive ears as you joined me on this story. For more folktale stories, please subscribe to our channel and support us by sharing and giving this video a thumbs up.